I'm Jezreel from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Last week, we covered the Management Review Program as outlined in SQF Code Clause 2.1.2 under Management Commitment. Today, we'll be focusing on the Complaint Management Program, specifically SQF Code Clause 2.1.3, still under Management Commitment Requirements. This program emphasizes documenting and implementing clear methods and responsibilities for handling, investigating, and resolving food safety complaints from commercial customers, consumers, and authorities, including issues arising from products manufactured on-site or co-manufactured. Understanding and implementing this program ensures timely and effective resolution of complaints, prevents recurrence of food safety issues, maintains regulatory compliance, protects brand reputation, and promotes continual improvement in the food safety management system. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultare Inc. Group, a compliance company. Founded in 2007, we began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, PRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen their regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Let's review our training schedule for the free SQF certification familiarization training. For this week, we will cover the complaint management program as part of the management responsibility requirements. In today's session, we will cover the SQF 2.1.3 complaint management program, starting with an overview of the requirements and a walkthrough of the compliance action activities performed on a regular schedule to maintain certification readiness. We will also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You are encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which we will address in the next week's session. Participants may also request a free 90-day trial of our SQF certification management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. And finally, all participants will receive a familiarization training certificate, and please ensure that you've completed the free certification familiarization training sign-up form shared in the chat. On the screen, you will see a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session, where we will be working directly with the SQF Compliance Management System software. So let's start by going over the description of the SQF 2.1.3 Complaint Management Program. Please take a look at the description on the screen. It says, to implement SQF 2.1.3.1, the methods and responsibility for handling, investigating, and resolving food safety complaints from commercial customers, consumers, and authorities arising from products manufactured or handled on-site or co-manufactured shall be documented and implemented. So you may update or edit the description as needed to reflect revisions with the new SQF editions, such as the Edition 10, will be released in the future. Now, to implement this program, we have created a list of action items in the Compliance tab. And since this will be performed by the FSQA and the SQF practitioner, so this will help them organize their tasks by scheduling according to frequency, whether it is performed on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual activities. So here are some examples of your compliance action items or the tasks that you need to perform. For your daily activities, this may include receive, document, and log all food safety complaints from customers, consumers, or authorities. Conduct preliminary assessment like seriousness, food safety risk, or recall trigger. Communicate urgent, high-risk complaints immediately to FSQA manager and senior site management, and initiate product hold if related products is still on site. For your weekly activities, review open complaint cases to ensure investigations are progressing, coordinate with operations, production, and suppliers to gather supporting records or samples, follow up on corrective actions assigned to departments, and close out complaints once investigations and corrective and preventive action or CAPA are completed. For the quarterly activities, perform trend analysis of complaints by product, type, frequency, and root cause. Review CAPA effectiveness for recurring complaint categories. Report complaint trends to department heads and communicate lessons learned to teams. And update training refreshers or toolbox talks based on recurring complaints issues. For the biannual activities, conduct an internal audit of the complaint handling system, verify records are complete and complaint lag is up to date, check linkage between complaints and CAPA or preventive actions, confirm staff understand reporting or escalation process, and update complaint intake and investigation SOP if process gaps are found. So basically, this serves as a checklist of your compliance activities that you need to perform by frequency. You can either add your own compliance action item, or we can also preload the required activities for you to perform. Now, to complete these activities, we've also provided work instructions and compliance activities in the instruction and evidence section, along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. For example, to complete the action item which states that receive, document, and log all food safety complaints from customers, consumers, or authorities, let's click the view option here to see the work instructions on how to complete this activity. So these are the compliance activities that you need to complete. First, you need to receive and acknowledge the complaint. So this can be done by receiving complaints through approved channels like email, hotline, website, in person, or regulatory notification, and acknowledge receipt to the complaint or to the complainant in a timely manner. So the artifacts and records are email or acknowledgement receipt, customer service call lag if the complaint is channeled via call, and complaint intake form. Next is to record initial complaint details. So it involves documenting key information, including the date and time received, the complainant details, product information, including the name, the batch or the lot number, and the expiry date, description of the issue, and how the complaint was received. So your artifacts and records can be customer complaint form, complaint intake sheet, or digital complaint entry in database. Next step is to assign complaint reference number. So you need to generate and assign a unique tracking or reference number for each complaint to ensure traceability throughout the investigation and resolution process. Next is to log complaint into a centralized system. So this is done by um, inputting the complaint information into the company's complaint management system or logbook for monitoring, trending, and follow-up actions. Next is to verify completeness of information. So you need to ensure that all required details are properly captured, like the product code, location, date, description, and evidence if available, and request additional information from the complainant if needed. So the artifacts or records included in this step are the completed complaint form, email correspondence, or customer follow-up record. Next is to categorize the complaint. So you need to classify the complaint according to type, whether they are foreign objects, spoilage, labeling, error, or allergen concern, as well as the severity. Uh, are they minor, major, or critical for appropriate handling? So the artifacts and records are complaint classification matrix, complaint entry with severity rating, and risk evaluation sheet. Next is to forward to relevant department for action. So you need to route the lag complaint to the responsible department, such as QA, QC, production, sanitation, or regulatory, for further investigation and action. Then maintain communication records. So this can be done by documenting all communications related to the complaint, including follow-ups, updates, and resolutions provided to the complainant. Next is to secure and archive the evidences. So if physical or photographic evidence is provided, like product sample, packaging, or photo, properly secure, document, and store it for investigation. So you have the evidence log, product hold tag, sample receipt form, or photo documentation file. And finally, review and verify proper logging. So as a compliance coordinator, you need to verify that all complaints are accurately logged, complete with reference numbers, classifications, and assigned actions. So the artifacts and records can be verified complaint tracking log, internal audit checklist, or weekly complaint review summary. So to complete this action item, granted that you have followed all the instructions in the instruction or the work instruction section, and you now have the evidence of compliance available. So all you need to do is upload them into the system. So in this case, we have uploaded the daily complaint monitoring form. Let's take a look at this record. So this record, as you can see on the screen, it demonstrates that the site follows a controlled and traceable process for managing food safety complaints. For example, on November 10th, the QA department received two complaints, one from a commercial customer. This is regarding a foreign material found in frozen veg mix, and the other one from a consumer reporting an off flavor in mixed fruit snack. So both complaints were assigned with the record ID, and then they were immediately logged, and the affected products were quarantined or retained for analysis to prevent further risk. The complaints were also assigned to the QA manager for investigation. And the investigation identified that the foreign material resulted from damaged packaging equipment, and the off flavor was linked to an expired ingredient. So corrective actions were immediately implemented, including repairing and inspecting the packaging equipment, retraining the packaging staff, removing the affected lot from the inventory, and updating ingredient expiry check procedures. Follow-up was also conducted with both the customer and consumer to communicate investigation results and provide replacement products or refunds. So the FSQA and the SQF practitioner reviewed and signed the record to confirm that all actions were completed and documented. This record confirms that the food safety complaints are managed in a systematic and traceable manner, ensuring timely resolution, prevention of recurrence, and compliance with the SQF 2.1.3 requirements. So this is only a sample document that can be used as evidence of compliance to complete the action items listed here. When you've performed all the compliance action items and completed the supporting records, your compliance status will update from no to yes, and your goal is to turn every no into yes and reach 100% compliance here below. So once again, these are simply examples of compliance best practices that you can adapt in your facility and in your process. You may also customize or develop your own action items based on your specific processes. Now let's go over the annual review tab, which also serve as your gap assessment tool. So this tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaire aligned with the SQF code requirements. For example, under complaint management program, you may find the following assessment questions. First, does the site have a documented complaint handling procedure that clearly defines methods and responsibilities? Does the procedure include escalation to senior management and regulatory authorities when required? Is the complaint handling procedure reviewed and updated annually? Is there a standardized complaint log, whether it is manual or electronic in place? Are all food safety complaints documented with complete details such as date, product, lot, description, source, and others? Are complaint records linked to corrective and preventive actions or CAPA? Are complaint records securely stored and easily retrievable for audit or review? Are all complaints reviewed and assessed for potential food safety risks? Is there evidence that complaints triggering recalls were escalated and managed per recall procedure? Are complaint investigations documented with root cause analysis and findings? Are corrective and preventive actions implemented and verified for effectiveness? Are complaint trend analyzed at least quarterly and reviewed by management? Are recurring complaint issues addressed with preventive measures? Are complaint handling results and trends presented during the management review? Are complaint handling practices included in the internal audit program? Have all relevant staff, like the QA, production supervisors, or customer service, been trained on complaint reporting and escalation? Is refresher training on complaint handling conducted at least annually? And is there evidence that staff understand their roles and responsibilities in complaint handling? So, same as with the compliance tab, we have also uploaded work instructions on how to complete each assessment item. So let's take one annual review item as an example and see how compliance is demonstrated. So let's pick the first one. Does the site have a documented complaint handling procedure that clearly defines methods and responsibilities? So let's click on the work instruction. So the first step is to establish a documented complaint handling procedure. So this is a role of the SQF practitioner in coordination with the QA department. They will develop and maintain a written procedure that defines the process for receiving, recording, investigating, and resolving customer complaints. Then the procedure shall include scope, definitions, roles, responsibilities, as well as timelines. So the artifact or the record here is, of course, your complaint handling procedure, SOP, document control log, and policy approval sheet. Next step is to define methods of complaint receipt. So the complaints may be received through multiple channels such as email, phone, social media, in person, or customer service platforms. And all complaints must be logged in a controlled complaint tracking system. Next step is to assign responsibilities. So the QA department will be responsible for complaint logging and preliminary classification, such as product quality, food safety, labeling, or service complaints. Next, the SQF practitioner shall oversee the investigation process and ensure timely closure. After that, the department managers will be responsible for implementing corrective and preventive actions. So the artifact and record can be responsibility matrix, organizational chart, and role assignment sheet. Then you need to categorize and prioritize complaints. So the complaints will be categorized based on severity, whether they are critical, major, or minor complaints, to determine the level of investigation required. Then the food safety related complaints must be escalated immediately to the top management and investigated as a priority. So the artifact or record involved in this step are the complaint classification table, risk assessment sheet, and priority log. After that, you need to conduct investigation and root cause analysis. So the assigned team shall conduct a thorough investigation to determine root causes and identify the corrective actions. Investigation findings must also be documented and supported with evidence. Next is implement corrective and preventive actions or CAPAs. So once the investigation is concluded, corrective actions shall address the immediate issue, while preventive actions aim to prevent recurrence. So the effectiveness of CAPAs shall be verified before closing the complaint. After that, communicate resolution to customer. So a formal response shall be sent to the complainant detailing the resolution steps as applicable. Then sensitive cases shall be handled by QA or designated management representatives. The artifact or record in this step are customer response email, communication log, or resolution letter. After that, you need to review and analyze trends. So the complaint data shall be analyzed periodically, like monthly or quarterly, to identify recurring issues and areas for improvement. Next is management review and continuous improvement. So the results of the complaint handling activities and trend analysis shall be reviewed during the management review meetings, and then improvement opportunities shall be documented and integrated into the food safety management system or the FSMS. So the artifact or record includes management review minutes, continuous improvement log, or action plan tracker. So let's check how to demonstrate compliance for this specific assessment question. So we have uploaded a sample document, which is complaint handling procedure, to answer this question. Does the site have a documented complaint handling procedure that clearly defines methods and responsibilities? So let's take a look at the sample complaint handling procedure. Let me reload this one here. Mhm. I'm having issues with the document. Please bear with me. One more. So that this document cannot be opened at the moment. But this record show that the site has established a documented and traceable procedure for managing food safety and quality complaints. Let me show you a template of the complaint management procedure or program. So we have here as a template. Uh-huh. Yeah, I have the same issue on all the uploaded documents. So anyway, this document shows that the site has established a documented and traceable procedure for managing food safety and quality complaints. So all complaints from commercial customers, consumers, or authorities are received, recorded, and logged immediately by the designated staff. And then each complaint is assessed and assigned to the QA manager or the SQF practitioner for investigation. The procedure also defines the responsibilities of all involved personnel, including the receiving staff, department heads, and senior management to ensure accountability throughout the process. The investigations are also should also be conducted to identify the root causes, determine the impact of the issue, and implement corrective and preventive actions. Then all findings, action taken, and follow-up communications with the complainants are documented in the complaint record. Um, Regarding the product samples or the entire batch that was affected, so they will be quarantined and retained to prevent further risk, and corrective actions may include product replacement, offering refunds, equipment repair, or staff retraining as appropriate. Then monthly reviews by the FSQA and the SQF practitioner, as well as the senior management, will be conducted to identify trends, verify the effectiveness of corrective action, and support continuous improvement. So, um, the complaint handling procedure is just an example of how to complete a specific assessment and a sample of evidence of compliance. So your goal is to provide evidence of compliance for all the assessment questions and turn every no into yes, and then achieve 100% compliance with the annual review assessment.